1, 2, 3, 4, You ought to see Deacon Jones when they're rattling bones. Old Parson Brown hopping around like a clown. Old and your mama, she's past 83. Shouting now that I'm full of pep. Watch your step, watch your step. One-legged Joe hopping around on his toe. Throwed away his crutch and hollered, hey, let her go, honey. Hey, hey, the gang's all here for the Alabama Jubilee. Watch me now, Chester. Say, pick it, Chet. Parson Brown hopping around like a clown. Old at your mama, she's past 83. Shouting now that I'm full of pepper. Boy, boy. One-legged Joe hopping around on his toe. Throwed away his crutch and hollered, hey, let her go, honey. Hell, hell, the gang's all here for the Alabama Jubilee. Alabama, Alabama.
Welcome to the Ryman Country Homecoming, a gathering of legendary stars of country music at the historic Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee. For 2 days, we taped songs and told stories. We laughed, shed a few tears, sang some great harmony, and, well, just loved seeing each other once again. And now, we would like to share these wonderful and historic moments with you. And here's Gary Beatty to tell you who's on the show.
The stars are Lynn Anderson, Chet Atkins, Bobby Bare, T. Graham Brown, Glenn Campbell, Roy Clark, Barbara Fairchild, Janie Fricke, Larry Gatlin, Crystal Gale, the Giesenslaw Brothers, Ferlin Husky, Waylon Jennings, George Lindsay, Ronnie McDowell, Lori Morgan, Willie Nelson, Dan Seals, T.G. Shepard, Joe Stampley, Ray Stevens, B.J. Thomas, Hank Thompson, Ricky Van Shelton, Porter Wagoner, Gene Watson. And now, here's your host, Ralph Emery.
In this show, we're going to try to recapture the spirit of the Ryman Auditorium, the mother church of country music, home of the Grand Ole Opry for 31 years, from 1943 to 1974, where the greats have performed: Hank Williams, Red Foley, Minnie Pearl, Loretta Lynn, Tex Ritter, Marty Robbins, and the list goes on and on. Well, we're going to go inside now to my co-host, Bobby Bare, and try to recapture some of the musical emotion of the Ryman Auditorium. Bobby?
Lynn Anderson.
Hey.
For all the UT fans, we got, tell her to stand up and sing, Chet.
Don't say it. All right.
We got to have some Rocky Top, Lynn.
Now, see, I was going to change this all up because there's two of us here that's had #1 on a song called Cry, and Janie but we can't do that. We're going to do Rocky Top, right? Okay. You ready, John? All right. There's one of the two state theme songs. One is the Tennessee Waltz. The other is this one right here. Y'all got to stand up and go, yeah! At least once. You ready? Come on. Y'all got to play along a little bit. Wish that I was on a rocky top down in the Tennessee hills. Ain't no smoker smoke on Rocky Top. Ain't no telephone bills. Once two strangers climbed the Rocky Top looking for moonshine still. Strangers ain't come down from Rocky Top, reckon they never will. Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Oh, Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Now, that's 16 bars there. I don't know what that means exactly. John, play along. Now, come on, Waylon. Willie, you big chickens. Corn won't grow at all on Rocky Top. The dirt's too rocky by far. So that's why all the folks on Rocky Top get their corn from a jar. Well, I've had years of cramped up city life, trapped like a duck in a pen. And all I know is it's a pity life can't be simple again. Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Come on, girls, help me. Rocky Top, Tennessee. If Peyton Manning makes a touchdown, they got to sing my song.
If I may, I want to tell you a story. Willie, this involves you. I want to apologize to you. Years ago, Willie told me this story a long time after it happened. And he told me that when I was an overnight disc jockey that he brought his first record up to my radio program. And I knew that in those old days, as Waylon has reminded me many times, I had a hard edge to my personality. Anyway, I said, so when Willie's telling me he brought me his first record, it was Family Bible by Hugh Nelson and the Little Men. And I said, Willie, was I nice to you? He said, yeah, you were nice to me, but you didn't play my record, and I've hated you ever since. So, Willie, to sort of make up for that, I'd like for you to sing Family Bible on this television show. Could you do that? So today we'll play your record.
Feel free to jump in here, guys.
Me too?
Not you, no. There's a family Bible on the table. Its pages worn and hard to read. But the family Bible on the table will ever be my key to memories. At the end of day when work was over, and when the evening meal was done, Dad would read to us from the family Bible, and we count our many blessings one by one. I can see us sitting around the table, waiting from the family can hear my mother softly singing. Rock of ages, rock of ages, left for me. Now this old world of ours is filled with trouble, but this old world would also better be if we find more Bibles on the table and mothers singing Rock of Ages left for me. And I can see us sitting round the table softly singing. Rock of ages, rock of ages, left for me. Rock of ages, rock of ages, left for me.
Thank you.
That's the first time I ever heard of you. Do you know that? Claude, what's his name recorded that?
Claude Gray, yeah.
Claude Gray.
Claude Gray did it.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Hugh Nelson and the Little Men?
We got rid of him.
You sold that song, didn't you?
I sold that song to Claude Gray and Paul Buskirk and Walt Breland, all three of them, for $50. And it took all three of them to gather up $50, I might add.
Well, that must be the going price, Willie. That's what I got out of the All-American Boys.
$50.
I want to go back to my old friend T.G. Shepherd. T.G., who came out of West Tennessee a long time ago. I don't know how long it was.
I was forced out.
You used to tell me all those Elvis stories. And were you a member of the Memphis Mafia?
Well, I can't say I was really a member of the Memphis Mafia. I spent 16 years hanging around Elvis because, as Waylon tell you, with RCA, being one of the VPs of promotion and sales in the Southeast, I had a chance to observe and spend a lot of years at Graceland. People always ask me if he influenced me. His music never did really influence me. I think his philosophy about life influenced me the most. His philosophy about life was that if you ever forget where you came from, you never get where you wanted to go. In other words, I think we all have egos, but I think the people who truly are the biggest in this business are the ones that are able to control it and leave the stardom on the stage each day when they leave it and go back to it each day. And he was able to do that. But there were a lot of great Elvis. I remember one night we were in Mobile, Alabama, and we were on tour, and this was the comeback tour in the late 60s, early 70s. And we checked into a little hotel down there that didn't have any air conditioning, and it was hot. It was like July, August. And Elvis went up to his suite, which was more like an efficiency apartment. I guess it was so small, you might say you could, if somebody hit the door, knock on the door, you could probably sit on the commode and open it up. It was that small. And there was one little fan going in the ceiling. There was no air conditioning, so Elvis gets on the phone and calls the motel down the street, a nicer place, and says, "Look, I've got to have a room tonight, a better room." And the little girl on the other end of the phone didn't know who she was talking to, and she says, "Man, you have got to be out of your mind. Don't you know that Elvis Presley's in town tonight?" She never knew. He said, "Thank you very much," and hung up. But no, there was a lot of great stories with Elvis.
You want to do I Loved Him Everyone?
Yeah, this was my a pretty good size hit for us. Yeah, let's do it.
I've known some painted ladies that sparkled in the light, country girls that love the lover's moon. Some I never really knew, but always wanted to. Some I only met once in a room. Some said they liked my smile, others of them stayed a while, while others left me on the road. This is the only way I have to say. I love them everyone. Background singers, here we go. All right. Big, little, or short or tall, wish I could have kept them all. I love them everyone. Like to thank them for the charms, holding me in their arms, and I hope they had some fun. Here's to the ladies in saloons and living rooms. Summer nights that lasted until dawn. Here's to the memories, everyone's a part of me. Oh, I love them, everyone. Hand clappers, all right, here we go. Big, little, or short or tall, wish I could have kept them all. I love them, everyone. Like to thank them for the charms, holding me in their arms, and I hope they had some fun. Big, little, or short or tall, wish I could have kept them all. I love them everyone. Like to thank them for the charms, holding me in their arms, and I hope they had some fun. Oh, take us home.
T.G. Shepherd.
Thank you.
Now I'm going back to my buddy Bobby Joe Bear.
Crystal Gale, you spent a lot of time working with our dear friend, Alan Reynolds. I think he did all of your first records, also Don Williams, and I don't know whatever happened to him. Last time I heard he was doing Garth Brooks.
Definitely doing Garth Brooks.
But he did all your first records, and they were wonderful records.
Well, Alan is a great song man. I mean, he can pick them.
He can
But
write
he
'em.
is a wonderful songwriter. Good writer. Yeah, great writer. Yeah.
He's really is a great writer, and he's also a wonderful human being too.
Definitely. I mean, I learned a lot from Alan working with him, and you know, of course, coming to town, and I was very shy. I've gotten out of that though, but but you know, I wouldn't say a whole lot. And Alan, when we get into the studio, he would say, you know, tell me, do you like this song? You want to? He really pulled a lot out of me, and really wanted the records to be. You know, I wasn't used to that. You know, I would have somebody give me the song and say, this is what you're going to sing, and he really, I think, helped me develop as an artist.
Now, when you did Waiting for the Times to Get Better, did he write that?
He wrote that song, yes. And of course, you know, it was in a minor key, and a lot of people, the record companies don't like minor key songs, or they didn't. But we push for this, and I love it. I just love how it's written.
Record companies don't like a lot of great things, I can tell you that. And they don't know a lot either.
Well, they didn't want Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue out either, and I said, I pushed for that one. So.
Good for you. Well, do us Waiting for the Times to Get Better.
Okay.
I love that.
It's been a too long time with no peace of mind, and I'm ready for the times to get better. I've got to tell you, I've been racking my brain, hoping to find a way out. I've had enough of this continual rain. Changes are coming, no doubt. It's been a too long time with no peace of mind, and I'm ready for the times to get better. You seem to want from me what I cannot give. I feel so lonesome at times. I have a dream that I wish I could live. It's burning holes in my mind. It's been a too long time
na 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 na. It's been a too long time, no peace of mind, and I'm ready for the times to get better, better.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you.
Ronnie, you were friends with Conway Twitty.
That's right.
You live in Sumner County.
Right.
So do I. We all live out there.
Yep.
Me and you, and some people don't, but we do.
That's right.
And I bet you have some Conway stories because I know that you and he did together. It's only make believe.
Yes, we did. Conway Twitty was such a friend to me. He was always giving me a song that he felt like that I needed. Now, Conway had 55 #1 records, so we know he had a good ear. And the first song he gave me was Happy Birthday, Darling. And I told him I didn't care for it, and he recorded it and went to #1. And then he gave me I May Never Get to Heaven, written by Bill Anderson. And I told Conway that I didn't care for that song, and he recorded it, and it went to #1. Now, he called me on his bus down Lake Charles, Louisiana. He said, now, Ronnie, you've turned down 2 #1 records. He said, you better not turn this one down. And he sang me a little bit. This is the truth. He sang me a little bit of I'd Love to Lay You Down. And I told him it was too dirty. I said, you'll never get that on the radio. As we all know, huge #1 record for Conway. And not too long after that, I was in Hendersonville at Center Point Barbecue, if you know where that's
Know it well.
And it was about 2 months before Conway passed away, and I pulled up in my old Ford truck and jumped out of my truck, and Conway pulled up beside me in his Jaguar. He jumped out and he said, funny I should see you here tonight. And I said, why is that, Conway? And he said, I got a song for you. I said, give me that sucker, I don't care what it sounds like. And trust me, I recorded that one.
At least you had been consistent. Up to
That's
that
right.
point.
And believe it or not, there were some more songs that he gave me that I turned down like a dummy.
We've all done that.
Yeah.
I think every one of us here has got a story just like that.
Well, when Willie did the Red-Headed Stranger album, we were listening to it. He had a little office up there in Oak Hill, Texas, and we heard the whole Red-Headed Stranger album and was discussing, wonder what would be the single to come out. And I said, well, I think anything on there would be good except that Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. I think that's way too slow. And as usual, Willie does me like he does Ray Price. Everything I do, he does the opposite, and you see where he is today.
Ronnie, what was the song that Conway gave you?
It was a Dennis Lindy song. It was a great song called In a Letter to You. And I kept it for about 2 years, and I sit on it, and I kept listening to it over and over and over. And dadgummit, if Eddie Raven didn't record it, and he had a #1 record with it.
Well, you're still consistent. Well, can you? I think the band has watching the girls go by.
Now I think they got up older women. I want to tell you about
Older
this.
women?
Yeah, I want to tell you about
Okay.
this song. Me and Buddy Killen. Everybody here knows my friend Buddy. He was producing me at the time, and we were getting on the elevator. And I swear, the elevator was just about to close, and it got about this. This guy stuck his hand in the elevator and stopped it, and he said, Ronnie, you got to record this song. You got to listen to it again. And I said, Jamie, it was Jamie O'Hara, one half of the O'Kanes. He said, you've got to cut this song. And I said, Jamie, I don't think that women want to be known as older women. And, of course, we went into the studio, and the cut that we got, and I said, now, why do you think that? And he said, I'm 30 years old, and I'm living with a girl that's 38, and I know what I'm talking about. So, anyway, all you ladies out there in the audience and all you ladies up here, I want to tell you, when you get 40, it ain't over. You're not over the hill. You're just getting better at giving a thrill. Ain't that right, Lynn? That's right. So y'all clap along with us when we do this. Everybody clap. Older women are beautiful lovers. I said older women, Lord, they understand. I've been around some, and I have discovered that older women know just how to please a man. Everybody seems to love those younger women from 18 on up to 25. 25. I love them too, but I'm telling you, learning how to really love takes a little time. Older women are beautiful lovers. I said older women, they do understand. I've been around. This man's been around, you can tell that, look at him. Just how to please a man. Sing it again. Older women make beautiful lovers, baby. Older women, they understand. I've been around, I have discovered that older women know just how to please a man. Older women, one more time, are beautiful lovers. Said older women, yes they do. I've been around. Porter Wagner's been around. Older women know just how to please a man. Yeah. Older women.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Hey, Waylon, would you recount for us how you avoided being on the plane with Buddy Holly? I know you were playing in his band at that time.
Buddy, we'd had a bus that froze up a couple of nights before, and we'd been traveling all the time in a converted school bus. So Buddy was tired. We all were, in fact, and pretty dirty. We hadn't had any cleaning done. So Buddy told us that I'm going to charter a plane when we get over here, talking to me and Tommy also, and said we'll fly on into Moorhead or up in Fargo, and said get us some rest and get some cleaning done. And the Big Bopper had the flu, and he couldn't hardly sit in those seats anyway. They wasn't that wide, you know. So he come and asked me if he could have my seat on the plane. I said, if it's okay with Buddy, it's okay with me, you know. And I think Tommy also flipped a coin with Richie Valens in the way they got that.
So you were supposed to be on the plane?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And,
you ever have nightmares about that?
No. Took me a long time to get over it because I was awful young. And
I'll bet.
You know, you have a strange feeling that, well, I had a reason to kind of think I've caused it, you know. And I went around with that guilt for a few years. I wasn't at 19 when it happened. But because Buddy was leaning back against the wall right where you walk up on the surf ballroom to get on stage, and he said, well, he told me to go get some hot dogs. So I went and got some hot dogs and come back, and we was eating hot dogs, and he was laughing at me and said, well, you're not going to go on the flight with us, huh? And I said, no. I said, the Bopper's been sick, and he wanted to go. And he said, well, I hope your bus freezes up. And I said, well, I hope your plane crashes, you know. And so I was awful young, so it took a long time
I'll
to
bet.
get through that. Yeah.
I want to go back to our guest, Glenn Campbell. Jimmy Webb, where is he now?
He lives in New York, and he travels the world playing the like ritzy piano bars.
He's still
doing his thing.
He still write songs?
Yeah.
Well, he wrote some great ones for you, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Well, Jimmy wrote, the only one he actually wrote for me was Wichita Lineman. Phoenix I Heard, I got off and wrote Johnny Rivers' album.
Well, Johnny Rivers did this first.
We did it on an album. Well, no, he didn't do it. That's why mine was a hit. No, I'm kidding. I changed that. I just heard the song different. When I heard the song, I cried because I had taken that trip from Arkansas to Albuquerque and then on out to the coast You know, Roger Miller said when Horace Greeley said, "Go west, young man," 300 people in Los Angeles drowned. So I went west. And when I heard that song, I cried because I was so homesick. I hadn't been back to Arkansas like in 3 years. And I said, boy, I'm going to record that just because of the fact it made me cry and it touched a part of my soul that I hadn't had with me for a while, I guess, in California. And that's why I recorded By the Time I Get to Phoenix.
Did Gentle on My Mind come out twice?
Yeah, they probably re-released it after the TV show came.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Gentle on My Mind was the fall or the spring of '67, and By the Time I Get to Phoenix was the fall of '67. And in between that, I did that old Jack Scott song, "What in the World's Come Over You." Yeah, that was, Jack Scott was on the same tour that Waylon, Jack Scott, and Danny and the Juniors. I was with Champs then in 1961. So that was 3 years later, and we was playing that same ballroom there at the same time of year, and it was cold, my gracious alive. But it was on that same tour, Jack Scott, who had done What in the World's Come Over You. And that's where I first heard the song was on the show.
Sing a line of that so people know what you're talking about.
Yeah. See, what in the world's come over you? Whoop, wow. Would you ever change your mind?
That's Jack Scott.
Yeah, and that and Burning Bridges.
Burning Bridges. Whoa,
Yeah.
what a great song.
But that, getting back to Jimmy Webb, he was the Wichita lineman that he wrote for me. Actually, I think it was Ken Nelson called him and asked him to write me another song like that. And Jimmy was coming, he was going home like to Oklahoma, like Ponca City or somewhere along in there. And he saw this guy up on the wire, actually working on one of the transformers. And he wrote Wichita lineman from that.
There was the Washita lineman out there, wasn't it? The Washita Electric Company or something?
No, Wichita.
Was it really?
Wichita, Kansas.
Okay.
And that became really got this a signature song.
Washita's in Wichita. It's where you do your laundry.
Oh, okay. Then why don't you do it for us?
Which one?
By the Time I Get to Phoenix.
By the time I get to Phoenix, she'll be rising. She'll find the note I left hanging on her door. And she'll laugh when she reads the part that says I'm leaving. 'Cause I'd left that girl so many times before. And by the time I make good old Albuquerque, she'll be working. She'll probably stop at lunch and give me a call. But she'll just hear that phone keep on ringing off the wall. That's all. And by the time I make Oklahoma, she'll be sleeping. She'll turn softly and call my name out low. And she'll cry just to think I'd really leave her. Though time and time I tried to tell her so, she just didn't know I would really go. No, she didn't know I'd go.
Roy, you feel like doing Johnny Cash?
Lord, only time will tell.
Have you got something to bar
Pardon?
have you got something to bar the fretboard with?
No, I don't. I need somebody had a. No, he's talking about it's like a steel guitar. I don't know if I can.
Will this work a knife?
No, it's got a rough edge on it.
We got a
piece
cup.
of paper.
We can open it.
We can
Well,
open
it's
the
got a
knife.
bar.
Use
We
this
can open it.
microphone.
I got a plastic.
Let me see. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
I'll wipe my lip.
No, it won't.
Here's
Let
a
me
can.
see. If I don't even know if I'll get that far on it. I need to stand up.
That's fine.
Uh,
Anybody back get us a coffee cup? A real coffee cup?
Hey, Ralph, you better find out if June thinks it's all right for Roy to do this.
I was wondering where that.
Who's June?
Now, it's been a long time since I tried this. That was back in my frivolous youth, where I could, that Jenny. I wish I'd have thought of that. I'm taller than I thought. But I knew Luther Perkins before I'd ever met Johnny. And one morning, you were doing your early morning television show, and Johnny Cash was a guest on it. And Luther had told him that I did an impression of him. So we got there just about the time that the show was over. And back then, those days, WSM, the men's room was the dressing room. So John walked in and said, "I hear you do an impersonation of me." I said, "Well, yeah." He said, "Do it." So I, to make as good a presentation as I could come up with, I got up on the commode and used it as a stage. And I did. Y'all can just jump in. I do it almost in its entirety in the key of E, which is the first hole at the end, big end. And I don't, just stay where you are until I come back and lead you back again. All right, it's called the Folsom Prison Bluesum. Well. Sort of hard to get started, isn't it? I hear the train a-coming. It's coming around the bend. That's a train coming around the bend. And I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. Lord, I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps, see, dragging by. I used to have a lot better drag. Every time I hear that freight train, I hang my head and I cry. Well, I'll bet there's rich folks eating in a fancy dining car. They're probably smoking coffee and drinking a big cigar. Lord, I knowed I had it covered. Smoking coffee, drinking a big, I said it right, didn't I? Oh, I'll hang my head and cry. Every time I hear that freight train, you ain't gonna believe this. That's another train. I hang my head and I cry. I'll pick it up one time, Luther. You had to know Luther. When they free me from this prison and that railroad train was mine, I bet I'd move it on a little farther down the line. Lord, so far from Folsom Prison. Did you see that? was my thumb. Yeah, I had it up on the top going, that's not a trick thumb either. It's just an ordinary little old pudgy thumb. I woke up one morning and there it was. They'll grow on you. You're probably right. Thanks, Mike. Hardly worth the trip, was it? I had planned to do another one for you, but I've been sick. All I do is cry. Every time I hear that freight train, I hang my head and I cry. I think I've had it, Luther. Won't you take us home? Thank you.
Roy, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Bobby, you want to bring on that pretty lady right behind you?
Well, she is one of my favorite ladies in the whole wide world.
She ain't been on drugs, and I'll leave her alone.
She ain't been on drugs. And she's a lovely lady and the sweetest person that I know. And it's Barbara Fairchild. And Barbara, here, you want this mic? Because you got to do the Teddy Bear song.
Well, I want to do it, but now I want to see if we can do this, Waylon. Now, Waylon cut this song, too. Did you know it? And so at some point in here, I want you to sing some of this with me.
Let me sing harmony. I might sing harmony.
Okay, now the words will be right over there if you want to take a verse.
They got them right there.
Well,
right
they're
there.
bigger over there.
And they got the lyrics on that other
this.
one.
Well, this is kind of nice. Yeah, let me move my chair.
Ain't no flies on me, honey.
Okay. Well, I'm so glad. Okay. So, yeah, let me feel. Yeah, that hair's nice today, Chet. So, well, if y'all will kick it off here, we're going to see what we got. And we appreciate help from the rest of the choir, won't we?
Yeah.
I wish I had button eyes and a red belt nose, shaggy cotton skin and just one set of clothes. I'm sitting next to a real bear, sitting on a shelf in a local department store, with no dreams to dream and nothing to be sorry for. I wish I was a teddy bear, not living or nothing, nor going nowhere. I wish I was a teddy bear, and I'm wishing that I hadn't fallen in love with you.
I wish I had a wooden heart, sawdust mind. I'm doing it wrong?
That's fine.
Someone else mind. Yeah. Remember that won't come around to hurting all the time. I do a recitation. Sing it.
And a painted twinkle in my eye.
That's it.
I wish I was a teddy bear, not living or loving, nor going nowhere. I wish I was a teddy bear, and I'm wishing that I hadn't fallen in love with you. All right, we're going to modulate. I wish I had a string you could pull to make me sing. Hi, I'm Ted. Ain't it a lovely day? Then I'd know every time I spoke the words were right. They'd be different. And no one would know the mess I made of my life. Sing, children. I wish I was like Bobby Bear, not living or loving, or going nowhere. I wish I was like Bobby Bear, and I'm wishing that I hadn't fallen in love with you. And I'm wishing that I hadn't fallen in love with you.
I always did want to kiss Waylon.
I love you, Bear.
Bobby, I thought we'd do Gene Watson's song that we had originally scheduled when he did Farewell Party.
That was my request. And I'm glad I did it.
Is this the song that Johnny Russell pitched you at Nashville now?
It is, yeah. In fact, Johnny was training a boy to pitch songs when I got this tape, and Johnny was showing this young guy. He said, "I'm going to show you how to pitch tapes and everything." And he wanted me to bring this tape, and wanted him to bring this tape over to me. And the kid was real nervous. You could tell that. And he came up and he said, "Mr. Watson," and he had a little quiver in his voice, and that's all he got out of his mouth. Russell walked over and said, "Hey, boy." "Give me that tape." Said, "Let me show you how to pitch a song." You know how Russell is. He said, "Watson," he said, "I want you to take this song back to Houston, learn it, come back to Nashville, and record it. You're going to have yourself a hit." And I said, "Well, I'll go listen to it." He said, "I can get anybody to listen to it." He said, "I said, go listen to it, learn it, and record it." And I did, and I can't put him down because he was right. It was a hit song for us.
How about singing it for us?
I'd love to.
Got no reason now for going home. All my reasons now, she's gone. Got no one there to talk to, and even though I know I ought to, got no reason now going home. Once I had every reason could want for going home and making love, but now I don't. So I end up in here each night, sitting and thinking, missing her, hurting so and breaking. Got no reason now for going home. All my reasons now, she's gone. Got no one there to talk to, and even though I know I ought to, got no reason now going home. It's so hard now just knowing there's another, that she's out with him, knowing that I love her. So I end up in here each night, sitting and thinking, missing her, hating him, and drinking. Got no reason now going home. All my reasons now, she's gone. Got no one there to talk to, and even though I know I ought to, got no reason now going home.
Another wonderful singer we have in our presence. And Crystal, of course, is the... you get tired of being introduced as the sister of Loretta Lynn, or are you all past that?
Well, I never was tired because it was true. That was a sister. No, I was always very proud of my sister. You know, being here at the Ryman, Yeah, I sort of grew up here as well.
Did you sing here?
I did. Well, you know, I came here and I'd be backstage watching my sister sing, and after the show, we'd have to go over to Tootsie's and pull Mooney out, and then we could go home. And but one night, Loretta was sick, and she asked if I could take her place, and I was probably about 16.
What'd you sing?
Ribbon of Darkness.
Okay.
And I love that song, and I was so excited. I mean, that was just incredible, being able to be here, to be with everyone. I mean, Jim Reeves was just very special. Minnie Pearl. I mean, they just so wonderful to be around.
I've got to ask you the question most fans ask me. If you are Loretta's sister, why don't you sound like her?
Well, I was born in Kentucky. Now, if you have watched the movie Coal Miner's Daughter, you'll see that if you count the children, there's only 7. So I was born a little later, and when I was about 4, we moved to Indiana. So my background really is, I grew up with my father working in a mill. Even though he was a factory coal miner, he couldn't work in the mines anymore, so we had to make the move. So I had Indiana dialect, I had Tennessee dialect, and with Kentucky, I don't know what I sounded like. But that was one of the things. They'd say, are you Loretta Lynn's sister? And I'd say, yes. And they said, well, you don't sound like her. You can't be.
You know, when you married Bill Gutzimas, I said to Loretta, I said, who did Crystal marry? She said, I don't know, some boy named Gonzalez or something like that.
He did have a little long hair. He was one of those, little hippies. He'd fit in today. No.
Why don't you sing a bit of your hit, Talking in Your Sleep?
I'll try it.
Okay.
3 o'clock in the morning, and it looks like it's gonna be another sleepless night. I've been listening to your dreams and getting very low, wondering what I can do. Maybe I'm being foolish, 'cause I haven't heard you mention anybody's name at all. I wish I could be sure it's me that turns you on. Each time you close your eyes, I've heard it said that dreamers never lie. You've been talking in your sleep, sleeping in your dreams, with some sweet lover, holding on so tight, loving her the way you used to love me, talking in your sleep, with loving on your mind. Maybe I'm being foolish, 'cause I haven't heard you mention anybody's name at all. I wish I could be sure it's me that turned you on. Each time you close your eyes, I've heard it said dreamers never lie. You've been talking in your sleep, sleeping in your dreams, with some sweet lover, holding on so tight, loving her the way you used to love me, talking in your sleep, with loving on your mind. You've been talking in your sleep.
Oh, that's nice. What do we got next?
We got my old friend Joe Stampley.
But before we got Joe, you've got to sing one verse of the All-American Boy. You promised me you'd do that. Now, a lot of people don't know and realize that you were the man that had this song out under the name Bill Parsons in 1959.
All right, I'll do it first verse.
You got it.
Gather around, cats, and I'll tell you a story about how to become an all-American boy. Buy you a guitar and put it in tune, And you be rocking and rolling soon, showing off.
Yeah.
Hitting them hot licks. Yeah, number one. That's all you get, Joe. I was just a kid and didn't know any better.
Well, I need Janie Fricky to come over here and help sing with harmonies with the. Are you going to do it with me? And T. Graham, you going to jump in and help us too? Okay.
You are going to do Roll On Big Mama?
Yeah, we're going to try it.
All right, let's truck her.
Roll on, Big Mama. Roll on, Big Mama. I like the way you sing. Roll on, Big Mama. Good night time, let's her breathe. Well, I said the feel of the wheel delivers me from a life where I don't wanna be. And the diesel smoke with every stroke sings a song with a heavy note. And a rambling is the life I chose, sitting here between them doors. Yellow line of keeping time to things that's running up through my mind. Through my mind. Yeah. Roll on, Big Mama. I like the way you roll. Roll on, Big Mama. You are my very soul. Well, I'm sitting on through the snow and the driving rain, to the 40 below and a banger main, to the 110 in the Texas sun. There ain't no road that we ain't run. Up through the Colorado mountaintop, down to the desert where Reno stops, north to the green of Coeur d'Alene. There ain't no road that we ain't seen. We ain't seen. Breaker 19 is, anybody got a copy on this Silver Roadhog? How about it, Willie? You got a copy here in the bus? What's the smoky situation down the ways, boys?
You got a smoking a plain white wrapper down there around that 187.
Well, I appreciate that, T. Mighty fine. I'm a-coming.
Oh.
Ricky Van, you ready to sing another song?
I guess.
I've been wanting to hear you sing Statue of a Fool. If you need a guitar now, we got one.
I'll get through it. Fire it up. Somewhere there should be for all the world to see a statue of a fool made of stone, the image of a man who let love slip through his hands, and then just let him stand there all alone. And there on his face a gold tear should be placed to honor the million tears he's cried, and the hurt in his eyes would show, so everyone would know that concealed is a broken heart inside. So build me a statue, and Lord,
Thank you.
Hey, I want to say, son, that on a bad day, you're wonderful.
Oh, thank you, man.
You're great. You know, Janie Fricke is just insistent that we introduce the band under the direction of John Clausey. So, John, why don't you do that? Tell us who's playing back in the band.
Okay. Start over there. B.G. Adair on piano.
All right.
Fixture in Nashville. Billy Adair, her husband, bass player. My brother. Weldon Myrick from the Grand Ole Opry. Kenny Malone on drums. The best. Hoot Hester, fiddle, mandolin. Bill Hullett, guitar.
And John Clausey.
And John Clausey is our leader.
Thank you, Ralph. I just had to do that.
Bobby?
You know, the first record I ever bought in my life when I was a teenager was Hank Thompson's Wild Side of Life. I still think that was the perfect record. And Hank has been one of my favorites ever since, Hank. How you doing?
Well, just fine. I'm certainly honored to be up here with all my distinguished colleagues in country music. And what a rare fact, was just talking to a lady from the Country Weekly here. Said, you know, do you do this very often? I said, no. I think the first time that this many of us get together, there's never that opportunity. So I'm glad that this came about. It's fun.
Well, tell us about that big band you had back there. You had the best band in the world.
The Brazos Valley Boys, named after, of course, my hometown area of Waco, Texas, on the Brazos River. And I just developed a type of Western swing, which kind of became a hybrid type of thing with the honky-tonk country and everything. We kind of called ours a honky-tonk swing because we did a lot of country music with a good beat to it. And that was one of the reasons why early in my career that I left the Grand Ole Opry, was because I knew I couldn't develop my kind of music in Nashville at that time.
Plus, you had a big band, and that was too expensive for them to pay all those musicians and drums.
Yeah, that's right. And they didn't allow the drums and amplifiers and all that kind of stuff on the stage of the Opry back then. And so I knew I never could develop the kind of sound that I wanted in music.
Well, you were with Jim Halsey forever, so you worked a lot with Roy Clark and Wanda Jackson. Did you discover Wanda Jackson?
She was I think maybe a senior in high school, and had a radio program there in Oklahoma City, and I'd heard her broadcast, and so I went over to a program one day and just walked in the studio and listened to her, and I said, why don't you come to the Trent-On Ballroom? We played there pretty regular on Saturday nights, and get up and sing some songs with us. And so she did, because I recognized that great voice she had. The only problem was she'd only just her and a guitar, and she didn't have a very good sense of rhythm or tempo or anything, and so she'd get in cross time and break the meter and a few things like that. But as the time went by, she got over that. The voice was there, and that's what I recognized.
Well, I wish you'd do me a favor, a big one, and sing The Wild Side of Life, because I love it.
Okay. I'll tell you, before I do this, though, I got to tell you, talking about Wanda Jackson, Roy Clark was working with Wanda, playing the guitar, or out there in Las Vegas. We were, my band and I were working there at the Golden Nugget, and Wanda and Roy and them were working there, and we were all stayed down at the old Ferguson Franklin Motel, and so Roy was he and his wife Barbara, everything they owned was there in that car and that little two-wheel trailer they had, and so
the trailer was added.
Yeah. And so he got ready to leave, and he had a date over in California, I think, and so he was going to go over and get gassed up and check the lubrication and everything. He said, got a noise in that trailer, and the guy jacked it up and pulled the wheel off of it, and when he did, the ball bearing just rolled out onto the pavement. And he said, well, you're going to have a new bearing. And Roy said, well, how much is that going to cost? And the guy told him, $15, $20, something like that. Roy looked there for a minute and said, well, I just scoop them up and put them back in there because I hadn't got enough to buy a new bearing.
And it worked?
I never had another minute's trouble out of that. The other wheel fell off, but that one was on there.
Well, they're going to give me a little intro here, or
Yeah, if you
chord,
need
or-
a guitar, we got one right away.
You wouldn't read my letter if I wrote you. You asked me not to call you on the phone, but there's something I'm wanting to tell you. So I wrote it in the words of the song. I didn't know God made honky-tonk angels. I might have known you'd never make a wife. You gave up the only one that ever loved you, and went back to the wild side of life.
Weldon Myers.
The glamour of the gay-dyed life has lured you to the places where the wine and liquor flow, where you wait to be anybody's baby and forget the truest love you'll ever know. I didn't know God made honky-tonk angels. I might have known you'd never make a wife. You gave up the only one that ever loved you, and went back to the wild side of life, and went back to the wild side of life.
Hank, thank you very much.
Janie Fricky, you
Yeah, Bobby.
you did a song called "Pass Me By,"
Mm-hmm.
an old Johnny Rodriguez song that Hillman Hall wrote, and I think you should do that for us right now.
All right, I'm going to check with John. You want to try the key of D as in dog, as my band would say? Yeah, I'm playing my famous ovation here that ended up in a pawn shop a couple weeks ago. Some guys broke into the house, and the first thing they took was the guitar, because it was sitting in the middle of the living room, and I was rehearsing, getting ready to go out and do some shows. So they took the guitar, and they took it to a pawn shop and had my initials all over it, JF, and they gave their name, address, driver's license. So the police called me and said, "We've got your guitar back." And then that led to about 30 more burglaries, and they're behind bars right now.
And they thought it was Jose Feliciano?
I don't know. All right, John, you want to try this? Y'all help me out now. Play along and sing along, all right? Key of D. Would you look at what came down the road today? Wanting me to be one more mistake to make. A bridge to burn to get to someone new. Hey, pass me by if you're only passing through.
sure look like the traveling kind of me. Well, don't stop if this ain't where you want to be. I don't know what you think you've run into. Hey, pass me by if you're only passing through. Now I'm not gonna be your stepping stone among the other hearts that you walked on. Well, Lord, help me if I fall in love with you. Hey, pass me by if you're only passing through. Sure look like the traveling kind of me. Well, don't stop if this ain't where you want to be. I don't know what you think you've run into. Hey, pass me by if you're only passing through. Pass me by if you're only passing through.
Sammy, do Over the Rainbow, will you?
Somewheres over the
Yeah,
rainbow. I tell
your
you.
version.
Yeah, well, we'd be glad to. Let me turn my mandolin up here a little bit. Do I need a mic? Lynn, this is a mic. Chet, could you tell her to shut up again? It's, of course, the theme song from the motion picture Wizard of Oz. Ralph just loves it. I asked son the other day, Ralph, I said, son, what would you do if you found $1 million laying in the street? And he said, if it belonged to a poor person, I'd give it back. And Ray Stevens, God, it's good to see him. Hey, remember, Ray, when we used to all get nominated for Comedian of the Year? And me and Son and Jerry Clower and Shotgun Red and them would sit around wondering who's going to come in second. So phone rang in Son's motel room. He was over. Thanks for fixing us up again, Ralph, at the Venus de Milo Arms, a beautiful hotel. The last time I was here, we stayed at a Chinese. It was an Oriental family hotel. It was called the Sweet and Sour Sweets. And it was all right, but the bad thing, you stay all night there, you get up the next morning, an hour later, you're sleepy again. Huh? Sleepy again. Get up. So the phone rang in Son's hotel room, and he answered it, and this girl's voice was on the phone, and she said, do you have any candles? And he said, candles? I do have a couple of candles. Why? And she said, well, I got a big old bottle of champagne, and I'd like to come over there to your room, and you dim them lights and light them candles, and we'll open that champagne and have us a real romantic evening. And he said, boy, that sounds good to me. And she said, I'll be over in about 20 minutes, Paul. And he said, my name ain't Paul. And she said, "Oh, good Lord, I'm sorry, I got the wrong number." And Son said, "Does this mean you're not coming over?"
Somewhere over the rainbow, ho, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby, once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, ho, skies are blue, and the dreams that I dare to dream really do come true. Dreams really do come true.
Now take it, Bubba.
Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me.
I want some seafood, Mama.
When trouble melts like lemon drops away above those chimney tops, that's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, ho, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow, ho. Tell me why, oh, why can't I? Tell me why, oh, why can't I? Somewhere over the rainbow, ho, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow, ho. Tell me why, oh, why can't I? Tell me why, oh, why can't I?
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Lori,
Oh. Yes, Ralph.
I want you to sing one of your old hits on this show. 5 minutes. I know you haven't sung it in a long time. Did you take it out of your show?
I did, yes.
Oh.
Well, I had to take it out. I mean, you know, and I think everybody can relate to this. You have to take things out and put new things in. And
Let's do it.
I'll try it.
Okay.
You look so disbelieving at my suitcase by the door. My taxi's on its way here. I can't take it anymore. Lately you've forgotten what loving is about. Well, now you've got 5 minutes to figure it out. You've got 5 minutes to tell me what I needed to hear. You've got 5 minutes to show me that you're really sincere. That's not much time to change my mind. It'll take a miracle, no doubt. And you've got 5 minutes to figure it out. Now I've got your attention. Here's what I've got to say. You'd better do some talking, 'cause my taxi's on its way. We used to set the nights on fire. Now every day is the same. But now you've got 5 minutes to kindle the flame. You've got 5 minutes to tell me what I needed to hear. You've got 5 minutes to show me that you're really sincere. That's not much time to change my mind. It'll take a miracle, no doubt. And you've got 5 minutes to figure it out. It'll take a miracle, no doubt. And you got 5 minutes to figure it out. You still got 5 minutes to figure it out.
Hey, there, that wasn't so bad. Lori said, I haven't sung that in so long, I don't think I can do that. But I think that was great.
I think I might have got that one too low, and that's getting low there for me.
I think it was great. I don't care what they say.
Thank you, Ralph.
Bobby, I got in mind a song written by a good buddy of yours, Bob McDill. Didn't you do an album one time called Me and McDill?
I did a whole album of Bob McDill songs because he's one of the greatest writers in the world. Yeah, I did an album called Me and McDill. And it didn't sell. I guess I didn't sing him good enough. But Waylon did do one of the McDill songs that was wonderful. And I have loved Waylon singing since the first day I ever met him, and still do. I think he is, well, he's my favorite ballad singer, for sure. And he does Amanda that'll make your hair stand up. So, Waylon, would you do for all of us, Amanda?
You know what? You told me about the sidekick. One time, Chet is not the most excitable person on earth. And when I first came to Nashville, you know, you'd say, well, that sounds pretty good, and that means it's chart, for sure. He'd say, well, that's good. That means top 10, you know, and if he said, that's great, that means it's a smash of the world, you know. So I figured him out, you know. But what I always wanted to do is for Chet, I wanted to cut a song and go all the way through it and let, when I got through, him jump up on that desk, jump through that plate glass window, get up and dust himself off, holler, that's a smash, you know. Then I want to say, well, let me try it just one more time. I made him play guitar for me one time on my guitar. It's terrible. And that's what I said to him. That sounds pretty good, Chet. I've held it all inward. God knows I've tried. It's an awful awakening in a country boy's life. To look in the mirror in total surprise at the hair on my shoulder and the age in my eye. Oh, Amanda, light of my life, fate should have made you a gentleman's wife. Oh, Amanda, light of my life, fate should have made you a gentleman's wife. Go for it. It's a measure of people that don't understand the pleasures of life in a hillbilly band. I got my first guitar when I was 14. Well, I'm finally still wearing jeans. Oh man, what are you looking at? The light of my life. Fate should have made you a gentleman's wife. Amanda, light of my life. should have made you a gentleman's wife.
Dan Seals, the world's greatest fly fisherman, has recorded some of the best songs that we have ever heard. And I know for a fact this is one of Waylon's favorite songs.
Well, I got to tell you just a couple of things. I've been kind of quiet here today, but I was a bass player in my family group till I got a chance to sing on stage with Glenn Campbell and my brother in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I was about 12 years old, and they let me sing this song called Will You Love Me Tomorrow by the Shirelles that I had just bought. And I went out there and the people loved it, and I realized at that moment that I wanted to sing. And then Glenn came out and made it on his own. I got a chance to see him coming through with I forget all the shows that you used to come through town with, and just had a good time. And so it's brought back a lot of memories just being around everybody today. Me and Janie used to sing radio commercials back in the 60s in Dallas.
And I've got a gold record hanging on my wall where I sang back up on I'd Really Love to See You Tonight.
Really Love to See You
So
Tonight.
I'm proud
a lot
of
of
that
people
one,
didn't
too.
know that
The
England
low
Dan and
backup
John
singer on
Ford
his
Coley.
record.
Huh? Let's see. Well, we recorded this outside of Nashville here in a guy's basement in Hendersonville. It said, I'm not talking about moving in, and I don't want to change your life, but there's a warm wind blowing the stars around, and I'd really love to see you tonight. And it was fun.
Didn't Ron Halfkind produce that? That produced Dr. Hook? Was that Ron Halfkind that produced it? Or
No,
it was,
Kyle Lenning
Kyle
produced it.
Lenning,
It was the
that's
first
right.
time that Kyle
about
Lennon
when
had
Dr.
ever
Hook was
produced anything by himself. And
When that was a hit, Dan, you guys did a show at Hermitage Landing, and me and my buddy was sitting out there on the lake fishing one night listening to that concert.
Unbelievable.
Sounded great on the water.
Yeah, did it ruin your fishing or anything, Bobby?
No, we were
Nothing
loving
can
it.
ruin his fishing.
I got to tell you, this song, Everything That Glitters Is Not Gold, I wrote this song with Bob McDill, and that's kind of like saying me and Gandhi freed India. I've written a few songs with Bob, and always sat in awe of his wonderful talent. And it's probably been the most favorite song I've worked on, and having anything to do with writing. Saw your picture on the poster in a cafe out in Phoenix. Guess you're still the sweetheart of the rodeo. As for me and little Casey, we still make the circuit in a one-horse trailer and a mobile home. And she still asks about you all the time, and I guess we never even cross your mind. But oh, sometimes I think about you and the way you used to ride down the rhinestones and your sequins, with the sunlight on your hair. Oh, we'll always love you. As for me, I've come to know everything that glitters is not gold. Well, old Red, he's getting older, and last Saturday he stumbled. But you know I just can't bear
let him go. Little Casey, she's still growing, and she started asking questions. And there's certain things a man just does not know. Her birthday came and you never even called. I guess we never crossed your mind at all. But then sometimes I think about you and the way you used to ride down in your rhinestones and your sequins, with the sunlight on your hair. The crowd will always love you. As for me, I'd come to know everything that glitters is not gold. Everybody said you'd make it big someday, and I guess that we were only in your way. But someday I'm sure you're gonna know the cost. 'Cause for everything you win, there's something lost. Then sometimes I think about you and the way you used to ride out in your rhinestones and your sequins, with the sunlight on your hair, and all the crowd will always love you. As for me, I'd come to know everything that glitters is not gold. Everything that glitters is not gold. Thank you very much.
Willie, you remember an old, I guess it was an album cut where you did Hank Williams' Ain't Gonna Be No Teardrops Tonight?
Sure.
Do a little of that for me, will you please?
Hey, I'll pretend I'm free from sorrow. Make believe that wrong is right. Your wedding day will be tomorrow. There ain't gonna be no teardrops tonight. Why, oh, why do you desert me? Are you doing this for spite? And if you only want to hurt me, then there'll be no teardrops tonight. Play on, Well. Well, I'll believe that you still love me when you wear your veil of white. But if you think that you're above me, then there'll be no teardrops tonight. Shame, oh shame. Others' arms will hold you tight. You don't care but there'll be no tear for us tonight. But there'll be no tear for us tonight.
Play another, Will.
Shame, oh shame for what you would. Others' arms will hold you tight. You don't care whose life you ruin, but there'll be no fear for us tonight. But there'll be